My stepmother, treating me like a servant, demanded I pay rent to live in my own house, until I took one action that left them with nothing. I'm 22, female. My dad is 46, male. My stepmom, Karen, is 43, female. My stepbrother, Tyler, is 25, male, and my stepsister, Ashley, is 21, female. Yes, those aren't their real names for privacy reasons. Okay, so buckle up, because this is going to be a long one. Seriously, grab some popcorn or whatever, because there's a lot to unpack here. I've been holding this in for weeks and really need to get it off my chest. Some background information you guys need first. Trust me, it's important for later. I lost my mom to breast cancer when I was 8. It sucked, obviously, but we managed. My dad was completely destroyed, though. Like, he could barely function for the first year. My mom's parents, absolute saints by the way, stepped up big time. They basically moved in with us to help take care of me, while my dad worked through his grief and tried to keep his business running. Quick note about the house situation because it's super important later. My grandparents were pretty well off, not mega rich or anything, but comfortable enough to buy this huge 4-bedroom house in one of the nicer neighborhoods near Boston. The idea was that we'd all live together so they could help raise me properly. It worked great for a while, to be honest, but then my dad met Karen, not her real name, but it fits her perfectly, laughing my ass off. At some business conference in Chicago about 2 years after my mom died, he was there trying to expand his consulting business or whatever, and she was working as an event coordinator. According to him, they just clicked, I guess. Karen saw her chance with a grieving widower who owned his own business because she literally moved across the country to be with him after only knowing each other for like 3 months. And, surprise, surprise, they got married within 6 months of meeting. Talk about red flags. Here's where it gets fun. Karen brought her 2 kids with her. Tyler, 25 now, was 11 at the time and already a spoiled brat. Ashley, 21 now, was 7 and honestly wasn't too bad at first. But Karen turned her into a mini clone of herself over the years. My grandparents tried to be nice about it. They really did. But I remember overhearing them talking late at night about how they didn't trust Karen. They thought she was just after Dad's money. Plot twist, they were right. But they kept quiet for Dad's sake because he seemed happy for the first time since Mom died. The first few years were rough. Karen started small with her nonsense. Little comments about how the house was decorated old-fashioned. It wasn't. How the kitchen needed updating. It didn't. How my grandparents were set in their ways. They weren't. But then she got bolder. She started rearranging furniture without asking, threw out some of Mom's old decorations, claiming they were collecting dust, and slowly started taking over the house. My grandparents were too polite to say anything, and Dad was too love-blind to notice. Then the chores started. At first it seemed normal. Everyone should help around the house, right? Except everyone turned into just me. Tyler was too busy with sports. He sucked at basketball, but Karen made Dad pay for private coaching anyway. Ashley was too young, even though she was only a year younger than me. By the time I was 12, I was doing most of the cooking and cleaning. Karen would literally check the baseboards with her finger to see if I dusted properly. Meanwhile, Tyler's room smelled like a combination of Axe body spray and old pizza. And Ashley's floor was permanently covered in clothes she was about to put away. Here's the really important part that I didn't know until recently. Before my grandparents passed away, Grandma in 2019 from heart problems, Grandpa followed barely 3 months later because he couldn't live without her. They put the house in my name, like legally it's mine, all mine. They must have seen this drama coming from a mile away and wanted to protect me. But I didn't know about it, no one told me. Dad knew, but I guess he didn't think it was important to mention. Spoiler alert, it was very important. Karen obviously had no clue either, or she would have tried to get her name on the deed somehow. So, for the past few years, I've basically been living as a servant in my own house, cooking, cleaning, doing everyone's, laundry, yes, even Tyler's nasty gym clothes, while Karen sat on her ass watching Real Housewives and complaining about how I loaded the dishwasher wrong. Tyler graduated college 2 years ago. Barely, pretty sure Dad paid someone off, to be honest, and hasn't worked a single day since. He claims he's trying to be a content creator, but his TikTok has like 200 followers, and it's all just him doing those cringe dance trends badly. Ashley's in her 3rd year of college, supposedly studying business but really just partying and posting aesthetic Instagram pics of her Starbucks cups. Dad pays for everything, her apartment near campus, which she barely uses because she's always at home, her car, which she crashed twice, her credit cards, which she maxes out monthly. And there I was, working part-time at Starbucks while taking online classes, doing all the housework, and trying to save up money because Karen kept hinting that I needed to start contributing to the household. The day everything went down started like any other crappy day in my house. I had just finished an 8-hour shift at Starbucks. Some Karen, lowercase k, yelled at me about almond milk, but that's another story, and I was exhausted. But of course, I still had to come home and cook dinner because heaven forbid Tyler moves from his gaming chair or Ashley puts down her phone. I'm in the kitchen making this pasta recipe I found on TikTok. Not gonna lie, it actually slaps. And Karen comes strutting in, wearing one of her supposedly designer outfits. Pretty sure it's from Ross, but whatever. She's got this look on her face. You know the one like when a teacher catches you passing notes in class? Yeah, that one. She sits down at the kitchen island, watching me cook like a hawk. I'm already on edge because she always finds something to criticize about my cooking. Last week it was too much garlic, literally impossible by the way. The week before it was too spicy, it was literally Alfredo sauce. Then she drops this bomb on me, we need to have a serious discussion about your living situation. I'm like, excuse me? What living situation? I've been here longer than you, lady. But she continues, your father and I have been talking, and we think it's time you start paying rent. After all, you're working now, and it's not fair for you to live here for free while we cover all the expenses. Y'all, the audacity of this woman. I'm literally standing there, wooden spoon in hand, sauce probably burning, just trying to process this nonsense. Meanwhile, I can hear Tyler upstairs screaming about his KD ratio in Call of Duty, and Ashley's TikTok sounds are blasting from the living room. So I ask her, trying to keep my voice level because I'm petty but not stupid. What about Tyler and Ashley? Are they paying rent too? She does this thing where she dabs her mouth with a napkin, even though she hasn't eaten anything. She learned it from Real Housewives, I swear. Then she hits me with, well, that's different. They're my children, and they're still getting established in life. Tyler is working on his content creation career, and Ashley is focused on her studies. I almost laughed out loud. Tyler's content creation career consists of badly lip-syncing to trending sounds and playing Fortnite on Twitch for literally 3 viewers. Pretty sure one is his mom, and another is his alt account. And Ashley's studies? Girl hasn't opened a textbook since freshman year orientation. But here's where it gets good. Karen starts laying out her reasonable rent requirements. $800 a month, in this economy, plus utilities, plus I would still be expected to help out around the house, also known as continue being their maid. I'm standing there, stirring this pasta sauce, and something in me just snaps. You know that moment in movies where everything goes quiet and clear? It was like that. All these years of being treated like Cinderella, all the snide comments, all the extra chores, all the times I had to wash Tyler's crusty gym socks or pick up Ashley's fake lashes from the bathroom floor. It all just hit me at once. So I turn off the stove, safety first, laughing out loud, put down the spoon, and look Karen dead in her over-Botoxed face. Let me get this straight, I say, and my voice is weirdly calm. Tyler, who hasn't earned a single dollar since graduation and spends his days yelling at 12-year-olds on Xbox, doesn't have to pay rent. Ashley, who maxes out her credit cards buying Shein hauls and has never touched a vacuum in her life, doesn't have to pay rent. But I do? Karen's face does this weird twitchy thing, probably the Botox fighting with her facial muscles. She starts going on about how I'm more established and how family helps family and some other nonsense she probably read in a Facebook mom group. That's when I decided to drop my own bomb. But first, I called everyone to the dining room, told Karen I wanted to discuss this as a family, used her own manipulative tactics against her, laughing my ass off. Tyler whined about leaving his game, and Ashley acted like getting off the couch was literal torture, but eventually everyone was sitting at the table. The pasta was cold by this point, but I didn't care. I had lost my appetite anyway. Karen starts explaining her proposal to everyone, acting all official like she's some kind of CEO. Tyler's smirking, probably thinking about how he can spend his allowance on more V-Bucks, now that I'll be paying the bills. Ashley's recording everything for her private story. Girl loves drama as long as it's not about her. And that's when I did it. That's when I said the words that changed everything. I'm not paying rent because this house belongs to me. The silence that followed? Oh my God, I wish I had recorded it, you guys. I wish I had a picture of their faces. It was like I had just spoken an alien language or something. Tyler actually stopped mid-bite, his fork just hanging there with spaghetti falling back onto his plate. Gross. Ashley's jaw literally dropped, the first genuine expression I've seen on her face since she discovered filters. But Karen? Oh man, Karen's reaction was priceless. You know that loading wheel you get when your computer freezes? That was her face, like her brain literally couldn't process what I just said. Then they all started laughing, like full-on hysterical laughing. Good one, Tyler snorts. Pasta sauce on his chin. I swear this dude eats like a toddler. Did you get that from TikTok or something? Ashley's already got her phone out, probably thinking this would make great content for her Relatable Family Moments series, which has like 50 followers max. Karen's trying to laugh too, but I can see the panic starting to set in. She's got that look she gets when her credit card gets declined at Nordstrom Rack. Happens more than you'd think. What are you talking about? She tries to sound dismissive, but her voice is shaking. This house is mine and your father's. This is where it gets good. I just lean back in my chair, trying to channel that calm villain energy, and say, why don't you call Dad and ask him? Karen's fake nails start tapping on her iPhone screen so fast I thought she might crack it. Kind of wished she would, to be honest, because guess who would have to go get it fixed? Me. She puts it on speaker because, of course, she does. She loves an audience when she thinks she's about to win an argument. The phone rings a few times, and then Dad picks up. He sounds tired, probably because he was actually working while his stepson was building his brand or whatever. David. Karen's voice is all sweet and fake, like when she's trying to get an upgrade at a hotel. Ruby is telling some interesting stories about the house. She says it belongs to her. That's not true, right? The silence that followed? Deafening. You could literally hear my dad doing that thing where he clears his throat when he's uncomfortable. He does it a lot around Karen. Then finally, actually, my in-laws put the house in Ruby's name before they passed away. Boom. Karen's face went through more colors than my old mood ring from Claire's. First red, then white, then this weird greenish color I've never seen on a human before. What do you mean they put it in her name? She's practically screeching now. When were you going to tell me this? I didn't think it was important, my dad says weakly. Typical dad move, to be honest. Not important? Karen's standing up now, her chair scraping against the floor. You didn't think it was important to tell me that your teenage daughter owns our house? She hangs up on him mid-sentence. The phone hits the table so hard I thought the screen would crack. Again, kind of hoped it would. Tyler's not laughing anymore. Actually, he's looking pretty pale, probably realizing that all those times he told me to get out of his game room, it was actually my game room. Ashley's still recording, but now she's got this deer in headlights look. I can practically see the TikTok drafts being deleted in her mind. Karen's breathing like she just ran a marathon in her fake Louboutins, trying to compose herself but failing hard. Well, she says, attempting to sound calm but failing hard, this has clearly been a misunderstanding. Of course, you don't have to pay rent, Ruby. Let's just forget this conversation happened. But here's the thing. I didn't want to forget. I was done forgetting all the nonsense they'd put me through over the years. Done being the family doormat, done watching them live rent-free in my house while treating me like their personal maid. So I just smiled and said, oh, we're definitely not forgetting this conversation. In fact, I paused for dramatic effect. What can I say? I've learned from the best. I think it's time we had a serious discussion about your living situation. The look of pure terror on Karen's face. Better than any Christmas present I've ever gotten. But wait, it gets even better. Because while they're all sitting there processing their new reality, I can hear Karen's phone buzzing with texts from my dad. She's ignoring it, but I know exactly what's happening. He's probably panic texting her about all the legal documents my grandparents left. The ones that prove everything I just said. Alright, so after that nuclear dinner scene, I went to bed feeling pretty good about myself. Like, you know that feeling when you finally stand up to your high school bully? Multiply that by 1,000, and that's how I felt. But Karen? Oh no, she wasn't done, not by a long shot. So, the next morning, I'm about to head downstairs for breakfast when I hear Karen's voice coming from the kitchen. She's on the phone with my dad, on speaker because of course, and guess what she's doing? Y'all, this woman is literally trying to convince my dad to get me to move out of my own house. Here's the conversation I overheard, and yes, I recorded it on my phone because at this point, I trust these people about as far as I can throw them. Karen, David, you need to do something about this situation. Your daughter is becoming a problem. Dad, sounding tired. What do you want me to do, Karen? Karen, what about those out-of-state colleges she applied to? You could encourage her to go to one of them. Tell her it'd be good for her independence. The audacity of this woman, I swear to God. She's really out here trying to ship me off to another state so she can keep living in my house rent-free. But wait, it gets better. Dad, I don't know, Karen. Karen, using that syrupy sweet voice she uses when she's manipulating someone. Think about it, David. She's young, she needs to experience life away from home. And honestly, dramatic pause, I'm worried about her mental health. All this anger she's carrying around, it's not healthy. Excuse me? The only thing affecting my mental health is living with the evil stepmother from every Disney movie combined. But here's the part that really got me. Dad, maybe you're right. I'll talk to her about moving out for college. It might be better for everyone. I literally had to bite my fist to keep from screaming. My own dad, who I've lived with my whole life, who I took care of after Mom died, who I cooked for and cleaned for, just agreed to try to kick me out of my own house. So I did what any rational person would do. I walked into that kitchen like I hadn't heard a thing. Karen almost dropped her phone when she saw me. She was still in her silk robe, probably fake like everything else about her, holding her world's best mom coffee mug that Tyler and Ashley got her from the dollar store last Mother's Day, and she acts like it's fine china. "Good morning, sweetie," she chirps, like she wasn't just plotting to get rid of me. I made coffee. First of all, she didn't make coffee, she put a K-cup in the Keurig I bought with my Starbucks money. Second of all, sweetie, since when? Tyler stumbles in, looking like a zombie, probably up all night streaming to his 3 viewers. Ashley follows shortly after, already fully camera ready, takes her 2 hours every morning, I kid you not. We're all sitting there eating breakfast, which I made, by the way. Karen doesn't know how to cook anything that doesn't come from a microwave, and the tension is so thick you could cut it with a knife. Tyler's shoveling cereal in his mouth while scrolling through TikTok. Ashley's taking pictures of her untouched avocado toast for Instagram. And Karen's pretending to read emails on her phone, but I can see she's actually Googling how to evict someone who owns your house. Not very subtle with the phone angle, Karen. That's when I decided to have some fun. "Hey Karen," I say, super casual. "I was thinking about what you said yesterday about rent." She perks up like a meerkat, probably thinking I'm about to back down. "I think you're right. People should pay rent to live here." The look of relief on her face lasted about 2 seconds before I dropped the bomb. "So, I've been doing some calculations based on market rates in our area. I think $1,200 per person is fair. That's $3,600 for you, Tyler, and Ashley. Of course, that doesn't include utilities. Oh, and there will be a security deposit. Chaos. Absolute chaos." Tyler actually choked on his frosted flakes. Ashley's avocado toast fell face down on her new white crop top. Karma is real, folks. And Karen? Karen looked like she was about to pass out. "You can't be serious," she sputters. "We're family." "Oh, I'm dead serious," I say. And since you brought up family, I pull out my phone, where I've got the recording of her morning conversation with Dad queued up. "Let's talk about your little plan to ship me off to college." The color drained from her face so fast I thought she was going to faint. Tyler and Ashley are looking between us like they're watching a tennis match. So, after I played that recording of Karen's phone call, things got wild. Like Jerry Springer level wild. Karen jumps up from her chair so fast she knocks over her precious world's best mom mug. Sadly, it didn't break. She's doing this weird thing with her face where she's trying to look angry, but her Botox is fighting back, and honestly, it's kind of hilarious. "You recorded me?" she screeches. "That's illegal." I just smile and say, "Actually, we live in a one-party consent state. I checked. Also, my house, my rules." Tyler's just sitting there with his mouth open, milk dribbling down his chin. I swear to God, this dude never learned how to eat properly. Ashley's frantically texting someone, probably her TikTok group chat where she pretends to be rich and unbothered. Karen starts pacing around the kitchen, her knockoff Gucci slides making that annoying flip-flop sound on the tile floor that I cleaned yesterday, by the way. She's muttering something about calling her lawyer cousin. You know, the one who specializes in real estate law but actually just does DUI cases in some strip mall office. Then she tries a different approach. Suddenly, her voice gets all soft and concerned, like when she's trying to get a refund without a receipt. "Ruby, sweetie, I know you're upset, but this behavior? Yeah, it's not healthy. Your father and I are just trying to help you. Maybe some time away would be good for you. There's this lovely college in Michigan." I cut her off right there. "Karen, let me make something very clear. I'm not going anywhere. This is my house. The deed is in my name, and if anyone's going to be leaving, it won't be me." That's when she lost it completely. "You ungrateful little." Not going to repeat what she called me, but let's just say it wasn't very world's best mom of her. She starts going off about how she raised me like her own by making me their maid, how she sacrificed everything to be a good stepmom by shopping at TJ Maxx instead of Nordstrom, and how I'm tearing this family apart. What family? Meanwhile, Tyler and Ashley are having their own meltdowns. "Tyler, this is bullshit. I'm not paying rent. I'm about to blow up on Twitch." Narrator, he was not about to blow up on Twitch. Ashley, Daddy won't let you do this. He loves us more than this stupid house. Spoiler alert, he doesn't. I just sit there, sipping my coffee that I made, because Karen still can't figure out how to use the French press, watching them spiral. It's like every bit of entitlement and privilege they've been harboring is just spewing out. Then Karen pulls out her trump card. She grabs her phone and starts calling my dad again, probably expecting him to rush home and fix everything like he usually does. But plot twist, I've been texting with Dad all morning, sent him the recording, explained everything. For once in his life, he's actually backing me up, kind of, in his own weak way. When he answers, he's on speaker again. "Karen, David, you need to come home right now. Your daughter is out of control." Dad, sounding surprisingly firm, "Karen, we need to respect that it's her house." Maybe we should start looking for a new place. The silence that followed. Oh my God, you could hear Tyler's brain cells trying to process this betrayal, all three of them. Karen's face goes through this fascinating journey, shock, anger, disbelief, and finally, fear, real fear. Because it's finally hitting her, she's about to lose everything. The cushy life, the free ride, the power trip she's been on for years. That's when she makes her biggest mistake. She turns to me, gets right in my face, and says, "Listen here, you little I don't care whose name is on the deed. This is my house. I've lived here for 12 years and no spoiled brat is going to kick me out. I will make your life hell." Perfect. Just perfect. Because guess what? I've been recording this whole conversation too. Not only that, but I'd already talked to a lawyer. Shout out to our legal advice for the recommendations. Turns out threatening the legal owner of your residence isn't a great idea. Who knew? Okay, so remember how I mentioned talking to a lawyer? Best decision ever. Turns out my grandparents didn't just put the house in my name. They set up this whole legal thing, trust, estate, I don't know, legal terms, that basically makes it impossible for anyone to contest it. My lawyer literally laughed when she saw Karen's legal threats in the texts I showed her. But let me back up a bit. The day after Karen's little meltdown, I went nuclear. I served them all with real eviction papers, like official court documents and everything. The look on Karen's face when she got served, priceless. She actually tried to refuse to take the papers, but apparently that's not how it works. Thanks, Reddit. Tyler's reaction was exactly what you'd expect. He threw his gaming chair down the stairs and broke it. Karma, hello. Ashley had a full Instagram live meltdown. Gained like 200 followers though, so congrats, I guess. But Karen? Oh man, Karen went full psycho. First, she tried calling every lawyer in town, like literally every single one. But here's the thing about small-town lawyers, they all know each other, and after the first couple told her she had no case, word got around. Even her DUI cousin wouldn't touch it. Then she tried the social media route, posted this long, dramatic Facebook status about how her ungrateful stepdaughter was trying to make her family homeless. But that backfired hard when one of my mom's old friends commented with receipts about how Karen had treated me over the years. Side note, shout out to my mom's friend Sarah, who's been keeping screenshots of Karen's nonsense for years. The hero we didn't know we needed. The best part? Karen's fancy friends from her country club started distancing themselves. Turns out, they don't like associating with someone who's about to be homeless. Funny how that works. Meanwhile, Tyler and Ashley are having their own crises. Tyler finally realized that being a content creator isn't actually a job when you have 247 followers and your main content is raging at Fortnite. He tried applying for real jobs, but turns out, professional gamer unofficial doesn't look great on a resume. Ashley's sorority friends found out about everything because she posted it all on her private story but has like 200 followers. Now they're all gossiping about how her designer bags were probably fake and her dad isn't actually rich. She's having a full identity crisis. But the real drama came when Karen tried her last desperate move. She waited until I was at work and tried to rearrange some things in the house. By rearrange, I mean she tried to take some of my mom's old jewelry that my grandparents had left for me. Unfortunately for her, I had already installed security cameras after the eviction notice. Again, thanks Reddit for the advice. Got her on video, clear as day, trying to stuff my mom's antique necklaces into her tacky Michael Kors bag. Called the cops, filed a report, showed them the footage. Y'all should have seen Karen trying to explain to the police officer why she was just moving jewelry that didn't belong to her. Her fake tears didn't work this time, probably because her mascara wasn't even running. Waterproof makeup really ruins the dramatic effect. The officer was this older lady who took one look at the situation and was not having it, especially when Karen tried to play the "but we're family" card. Officer, ma'am, attempting to steal from the legal owner of this house isn't a family matter. I didn't press charges yet because, honestly, having this on record for the eviction case is better. My lawyer was thrilled. Speaking of the eviction, remember how Karen always bragged about her investment accounts and how she was independently wealthy before meeting my dad? Yeah, turns out that was all nonsense. She has literally nowhere to go, and she's freaking out. She tried calling my dad's sister for help, but my aunt, who never liked Karen, just sent her a link to apartment listings in the sketchy part of town. I actually felt bad for half a second until I remembered the time Karen accidentally donated my mom's Christmas ornaments to Goodwill. The worst part? My dad finally grew a spine, kind of. He told Karen that if she doesn't leave peacefully, he's not going with her. Turns out 12 years of her toxic nonsense was enough, even for him. I will update you guys when they leave. Final update, so, after the whole jewelry attempt, Karen knew she was screwed. But, being Karen, she had to make the exit as dramatic as possible. The day before the final eviction deadline, she tries one last power play, calls this family meeting, LOL, what family, and comes strutting in, wearing her fake Chanel suit, the one with the obviously wrong pattern that she swears is vintage. She's got this whole speech prepared about how she's choosing to leave because she can't stand the negativity or whatever. Karen starts this whole monologue about how she's taking the high road. Since when is being legally evicted taking the high road? Then she drops what she thinks is her trump card. Your father and I have decided to move to Florida. We just bought a beautiful house in Tampa, much nicer than this old place. First of all, they didn't buy anything. I literally saw her GoFundMe for family in crisis needs housing that got exactly $43 in donations, mostly from her MLM group. Second, my dad wasn't even there for this announcement because he was at a hotel. Turns out, watching your wife try to steal your dead wife's jewelry is kind of a mood killer. Who knew? But here's where it gets good. While Karen's doing her fake, graceful exit speech, the moving guys I hired start showing up, like right in the middle of her "this house was beneath me anyway" rant. There's these big dudes walking in with boxes and dollies. Karen's face does that weird Frozen thing again. Botox plus rage equals comedy gold. She starts screaming about how she wasn't ready and needed more time to sort her belongings. The head mover guy, shout out to Mike, you're a real one, just looks at her and goes, "Ma'am, we have strict instructions. Everything gets packed and moved to your storage unit today. If you want your stuff, you'll need to take it up with the court." Y'all, she lost it. Full nuclear meltdown. Started grabbing random stuff, claiming it was family heirlooms, including my mom's ceramic bowl that she literally tried to throw away last year. Ashley's crying about her TikTok backdrop being ruined. Tyler's having a panic attack because he can't disconnect his gaming setup fast enough. But here's the best part. Remember that designer stuff Karen was always bragging about? The vintage bags and premium clothes? The movers start packing it up, and half the labels are literally falling off. While all this is happening, I'm just sitting on my couch, drinking my coffee, in my house, watching them scramble. Posted a few updates to my private story, and suddenly all these people from high school are sliding into my DMs like, "OMG, I always knew she was fake." Final inventory of what they tried to steal on their way out. 3 of my mom's necklaces, caught on camera. My grandma's china set, also on camera. The good coffee maker, I bought that with my Starbucks money. Every single towel in the house. Weird flex, but okay. The garage door opener? Seriously? But you know what? They can have the towels. I already ordered new ones. Really nice ones that Karen would have said were too expensive while dropping $500 on her fake designer stuff. The actual eviction? Chef's kiss. Perfect. They had to do the walkout with the sheriff's deputy present. Standard procedure, but extra satisfying. Karen tried to claim I damaged her things during the move. The deputy just pointed to my security cameras and asked if she wanted to file a false report. She shut up real quick. So where are they now? Karen and my dad are staying at her sister's 2-bedroom apartment in the next town over. Apparently it's not going great. Her sister posted on Facebook about ungrateful house guests who don't do dishes. Tyler had to sell his gaming setup to pay for a deposit on a room in some sketchy house share. He's working at GameStop now, which, honestly, might be good for him. Ashley moved in with her sorority sisters, but that lasted about a week before they got sick of her crying. Now she's commuting 2 hours to college from her mom's sister's place. Her latest TikTok is about being humbled, but she's still getting ratioed in the comments. As for me, the house is so peaceful now, like weirdly peaceful. No more fake designer perfume smell everywhere. No more passive-aggressive notes about loading the dishwasher correctly. No more 3 a.m. screaming from Tyler's gaming sessions. I turned his old room into my home office, already decorated it with actual designer stuff because I can afford it now that I'm not paying for their groceries. Ashley's room is becoming my dream closet, and Karen's meditation room, where she watched Real Housewives all day, is now my yoga studio. Dad calls sometimes. He's staying with Karen for now, but honestly, he sounds tired. I think he's finally realizing what everyone else knew 12 years ago. He married a gold digger who isn't even good at gold digging. Was I too harsh? Maybe. Do I regret it? Nope. They messed around, they found out. Turns out, karma doesn't care about your fake Gucci slides. Final update, my mom's best friend, Sarah, is renting one of the spare rooms now, so I'm not alone in this big house. She's teaching me all Mom's old recipes and helping me replace everything Karen threw out over the years. Sometimes good things come from bad situations. Thanks for following this journey, Reddit. Y'all really helped me stay strong through this, especially the legal advice folks. You guys rock.